coming live from the White House. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President of the United States of America, Mr. Jimmy Carter.
Thank you. Welcome, citizens of America, to the White House, as I open the doors to some very special guests. Tonight, May 14th, 1980, we host a reflection event based on the last 2 decades. Tonight, we will honor the lost years from the Vietnam War. Join me in welcoming War Veteran Jack Cunningham.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm very happy to be here today.
Please welcome with me Representative from OPEC, King Faisal.
Thank you. I'm very honored to be here today.
Welcome with me, writer Maya Angelou.
Well, thank you, Mr. President.
Well, excuse me, Mr. President. Let's not forget our beautiful co-host this evening, all the way from 2012. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome First Lady of the United States of America, Michelle Obama.
First Lady Michelle Obama.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me here today.
In our first topic of discussion, reflection of the Vietnam War. As we all know, the Vietnam War was a devastating decade for our country. As many made it known that our support was not completely for the war, there have been many who lost their lives. We fought for what we believe in, and we succeeded. Cunningham, how troubling was the war, and how have you been impacted by it?
Thank you, Mr. President. The war has been a very troubling time for me, as you may all know, and it will continue to impact my life till the day I die. And as a child, I want to inform all Americans that I have dreamed of being part of the Marine and wearing that honorable uniform for almost my entire life. And so I also got inspiration from my home life, as my brother served in the Army and my other brother served in the Marines.
Is there a specific moment of the war that you remember?
Well, I did serve in a peasant farming village on the countryside of Vietnam in the CAP program of the Marines. And one very troubling event that I remember is when the communists fired back at us across the river. And I was ordered to just stay there, don't do anything. And it was very troubling for me to sit there and not be able to fight back for my country. And because they didn't want us to harm any other peasants or people just walking around in their everyday life. So we weren't able to shoot back, and that really scared me, and it's something that I will remember for the rest of my life. And as you can see, the war has impacted my life, and it will continue to.
Cunningham, for your personal story on the war. Speaking of stories, King Faisal, why did OPEC boycott the U.S.?
بنحكي عن القصص فليش الأوبك ما خلوهم يسووا هذا في أمريكا.
يعني عن جد بعرف ايش، بس يعني إلنا البنزين وإلنا كل شيء، فأنا حكيت لأمي هيك رح أسوي.
We did what we felt we needed to do to protect our own interests. We felt threatened after the Yom Kippur War and the Western support for Israel. So we imposed an oil embargo in 1973.
I see.
Yes.
يعني أنا هيك بس بحكي يعني هبل.
Despite the fact that it lasted 1 year, we now see the effect that we have had on your world.
We apologize.
Just as Israel's recognition had on ours.
Israel no good.
We recognize decisions made and hope that we as a nation may move on. Excuse me for a second, I think. Move on to a brighter future, one with compromise.
To Maya Angelou, how has being an African woman affected your writing? Well, being an African American woman has greatly impacted my writing. I grew up knowing what racism was. Even till today, there are people who still don't like my writing because of who I am. But this is only motivation for me to keep on writing. Everything I feel goes into my writing. That's why a great portion of my writing is about being a strong, powerful black woman. Wow, that's powerful. In 2012, African Americans and women don't face as much adversities as they do today and in the past. But it's great to see that instead of using anger, you use your love as a weapon.
Thank you very much for your input on the past years. Well, thank you for watching, Americans, and have a good night.
Good night, America.